Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Explain This. I'm with the star of the show, Robin Riddle. Robin, I feel like you're going to disappoint me today.
Why is that?
I do, because I know this topic, and I know I haven't been intentional about it.
Yep.
And I'm talking about artificial food coloring.
Yeah.
And I know it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
What can we do? Like, tell me about it.
Okay. So artificial food coloring, a lot of people don't think anything about it. It's in like everything. You go grab a bag of candies. Of course, they're going to be crazy colors. Your cereals are, your drinks are. Everything is colored nowadays. But a lot of people don't know where it came from. So artificial food dyes are synthetic chemicals that were originally derived from coal tar. Now, most days, they come from petroleum, crude oil. So that
doesn't sound good.
No. And that's what they're putting in your food to enhance the appearance of food.
Yep.
Artificial food dyes have no nutritional value. They are terrible for you, but they make your food look pretty. So they're putting it in everything. And there's been several brands. I was reading earlier about Kind, which is a very well-known brand, that came out with a Fruit Loop type cereal. And it wasn't selling. Yeah, wasn't selling. And they start trying to research and find out why. And because it's not as colorful as regular Fruit Loops, so people thought something was wrong with it. So they literally pulled the product because they're like, well, we're not putting food dyes in this. It's not going to happen. So people associate that and think like, oh, that's going to be great or it's going to taste good or whatever because it's brightly colored. It's estimated that Americans today consume 5 times as much food dye as we did 60 years ago. It's everywhere. And it's not surprising given the amount of packaged food and products that we have nowadays. So in addition to including it into your food, synthetic food dyes are also found in a wide range of personal care products like your toothpaste. If you've got that little blue stripe in there, it's in your toothpaste. Household products, a lot of vitamins, especially chewy vitamins, will have this, which we're giving to our kids. Cough syrup, like I said, toothpaste, laundry detergent, anything that has a color to it, they have put a food dye into it.
Man, I'm thinking M&Ms too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
They're all different colors.
Skittles, Starburst, lots of food dye.
Interesting.
Yes. So in 2010, the European Union began requiring food labels to clearly annotate on them that there was the presence of several food dyes, along with a warning that say they may have adverse effect on the development and activity of children. The United States, knowing that, voted against having that same labeling on our foods.
Interesting.
So rules in the U.S. are very different. A lot of the things that we eat in the U.S., they would be banned in other countries.
Well, initially, like I think, our kids are the ones that are most susceptible to eating foods with food coloring.
Yes.
Even, I think, parents feed their kids stuff that has colors on them.
All the time.
Flintstone vitamins, Fruit Loops.
Yeah, all the things.
I mean, I can name all of them.
Yeah.
Super interesting.
So a lot of food dyes is targeted more towards children, but a lot of adults are consuming it as well.
Yeah.
So this is important for adults, but it's also important for parents to know what you're giving your kids. So unlike the European Union, which bases all of its health protection policies on a precautionary principle, meaning if it could cause an issue, we're just not going to do it. That's what they do in Europe. In the U.S., U.S. government requires extensive proof of harm prior to taking any regulatory action. So there's tons of studies into these artificial food dyes that are showing harm, and they still have not removed them from our foods yet.
It's so interesting how we're quick to look at how much sugar is in this food, but I'd never look at artificial food dyes, whether or not it's in it.
Right there on the label.
And it's definitely in it.
So a lot of our major U.S. food companies who are continuing to use artificial food dyes for us here in the U.S., they have versions that they make for other countries that are naturally colored or dye-free.
Okay, so you can do naturally colored.
Yes.
Okay.
So they have the capability. Like if you look at Gatorade here versus Gatorade in Europe does not contain food dyes.
I didn't know that.
So they have the capability to do it. They just don't do it here. It's probably a little bit more expensive, not quite as easy. So they don't do it here.
Yeah. What about the colored drinks? There's so many colored drinks.
They all have food dyes in them in the U.S. Yes.
That's wild.
So a study released in 2016 found that 43% of all food products marketed towards children contain artificial food dyes. And really the only ones that didn't were produce. And they're not dyeing produce because it's already God made it the right color. Most common dyes found are red number 40, which is found in 29% of all the products that they tested. Blue number 1, 24% of the products. Yellow number 5, 20% of the products. And yellow number 6 was in 19% of the products. And again, like I said, the only category that did not contain it was produce. Highest percentage, candy, of course.
Yep.
Fruit snacks. They're not fruit. And drink mixes, drink mixes and like powder additives, Crystal Light, things like that.
Oh, man, yes.
Yes.
Man.
All the fun things,
That's
right?
a lot of stuff that we can kind of fool ourselves into thinking that it might be healthy. Fruit snacks, better than a candy bar maybe?
Yeah, no, 100% not. Not
okay.
at all.
No, it's not fruit.
Sorry, not fruit. Got to take away your fruit snacks, Ben. I'm sorry. So why are these so important? Like, why am I ranting about all of these?
Yep.
Red dye number 40, just in and of itself, just that one, has been linked to physical and mental health issues such as ADD and ADHD, especially in children, allergies, immune disorders, bowel issues, asthma, migraines, skin issues, even cancers. If children already have ADD or ADHD from something else, this will make them worse. But children who even don't have it become hyperactive after consuming it.
And this is red?
Red dye number 40.
Red number 40. Okay.
It's the most prevalent one out there.
Okay.
So you send kids to a birthday party and they come back all hyped up on sugar and you're like, oh, it's a sugar high. It's actually a red dye number 40 high because it's in everything that they've just consumed for the last 2 hours. Swedish Fish, Twizzlers, all the fun things.
Swedish Fish are so good.
I know, right?
Goodness.
Right? Yeah. That's why kids get crazy after consuming it.
Yeah.
Not so much the sugar.
Yeah. Interesting.
More than 6 million pounds of red dye number 40 alone is added into our foods every year.
I believe it.
Just that one.
Yeah.
Just that one. Like I said, commonly found in candy, condiments, ketchup. They add extra because why not make it a deep, deep red instead of what it naturally would be? Almost all your snack foods, breakfast cereals, even chocolates. Somebody brought me chocolate the other day, and I don't eat chocolate much anyways, but I look on the back, and I'm like, red dye number 40, it's chocolate. Like, why does it have red dye number 40 in it? I don't know. You got to look at the labels on things. All your breakfast cereals, your pastries, cupcakes with the colored icing, your sodas, your juice drinks, all these sorts of things, even salad dressing. They are adding food coloring into these.
I feel like this episode should be titled the No Fun episode.
I know, I'm really sorry. I'm doing a no fun series.
No birthday parties.
No. Well, the good thing is there are natural ways to do this. Other countries do it. What we do in the U.S. is not legal in most other countries.
Okay.
Because they know the risks. So I told you red dye number 40. The other common ones like red number 3 has been linked to thyroid cancers and dysfunction, actual damage to chromosomes in the body. Yellow number 5, hyperactivity and impaired fertility. Green number 3 can cause GI upset, bladder and testicular tumors. Yellow number 6 can cause hives and asthma, kidney and adrenal tumors. I mean, I can go on and on.
It's serious stuff.
It's serious stuff.
Yeah,
and this is what they're targeting and putting in foods that we're giving to children who are still in these critical developmental stages in their life.
God.
So takeaway.
Okay.
There's better products out there for everything. They're not the go-to standard. They're not the cheapest. They're not always the easiest to find, but there are options for everything. Mott's applesauce. They have a red one. I don't know why. Applesauce doesn't need to be red. Apples are not red on the inside, but they add red dye number 40 to it. There is an organic version of it that does not have red dye in it. They can make things red using beet juice powder, beet powder, things like that.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like that. Organic products are much less likely to contain artificial food dyes. So look for organic options. Look for non-colored options. If you're going to do a Gatorade, get one of the clear ones. They make them now that have no artificial dyes in them. Look at everything you're eating because it is everywhere. They hide it everywhere. And look for better options.
Now, is it actually on the ingredients label? So you can see the red number 40?
Yep.
Okay. So it's not you're not just looking for dyes added.
The color. Yeah. It will straight up tell you which dye is in there.
Wow. So stay away from that stuff, guys.
Don't do any of them.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Natural coloring.
Natural coloring.
You can still have fun.
You can make birthday cakes. They make a natural vegetable-based food coloring. You've just got to search for it. Probably got to buy it online versus in the grocery store.
I'll be honest. You had me until you said vegetable-based birthday cake.
It's just the color. Just for the color. Still tastes good.
It's still probably good. It's still probably good. No, this is super insightful.
Yeah.
This is a I'll be honest, I've never looked for this on an ingredient list.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start to now.
Absolutely.
You explained it. Guys, you name it, we explain it. This was about food coloring dye. Stay away from it. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Stay away from it. Until next time, we'll see you.
Don't go away.